Okay, I have my favorite fantasy romance t-shirt on. I am ready to do this tag. Hey everyone, my name is April. Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming to you today with a very exciting tag video. This is the fantasy romance reader book tag, and I was tagged by Becky from Bex Reads. Love her channel. If you have not watched her videos, please do. She's so creative and amazing. The tag was actually, I think, put on or created by Hannah Blackwell, who is also another amazing creator here on BookTube. Please check out her channel as well if you already haven't. I'm sure you have. But also so many other amazing creators also contributed to this tag, and I am so happy to be one of them. Thank you, Becky, for tagging me in this video because it made me super excited. I definitely wanted to do it. And let's get into the questions. So the first question is, what book got you into fantasy romance for the first time? So I came over from YA fantasy, and I know a lot of the books that I read had a little bit of romance in them. Like, for instance, Daughter of the Pirate King was one of my first ultimate favorite books. However, the one book that was really more heavily romance focused that I remember reading that really sparked this interest in me in romance and fantasy was The Remnant Chronicles from Mary E. Pearson. These are so romantic and so epic. You have a girl, I think her name is Leah. It's been a long time since I read these. Leah is running away from an arranged marriage. She doesn't want to do it. So her and her best friend get on her horses and run away and go to a small town and just start living out their best lives as like in a bar or something like that. And lo and behold, two men come after Leah. One is the prince she was supposed to marry, and the other is an assassin. And you do not find out who is who until the end of this first book. And it is, yes, a love triangle, but it is so freaking good. I love the series. In fact, I really need to do a reread of this series. Like, for real, I haven't read these in so long. This one and then the next one, the Dance of Thieves duology, I love those books to death. They're just such great epic romance YA novels that really grip you and make you feel the romance in it, and that's what I really love about it. So the next question is, if you could pick one fantasy world to live in for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Yeah, what would I choose? The world that involves the Mead mishaps. This world is so cozy and cute. I mean, I want to walk down a street with a spice shop whose the owner's name is Cinnamon, and like all her brothers' names are different spices. I mean, come on. Come on. I would just have a smile on my face all day long. All day long. And I love all the creatures and the magic. I mean, yeah, definitely I would be living in this one for sure. The next one is, if you could marry one bookish hero or heroine, which would it be? This is so hard because I have a ton of book boyfriends that I just want to live with for the rest of my life. I would completely marry Jace from Dance of Thieves. Love him. Also, another Bridge Kingdom, Aaron. Yes, give me a king. Give me a tortured king, and I will marry him. I will marry him. I will not try to assassinate him like his wife tried to. But also, I'm gonna have to fight Jess for this one, but Daddy North from Broken Bonds. Yes. Yes. But ultimately, for the hero I would marry, it's gonna go with Karis from The Inadequate Heir. He's bookish, he's diplomatic, he likes a little bit of adventure. I'm okay with all of those things. I think we would get along swimmingly. I really love him. And then the heroine that I would completely marry, is Lilith from Six Scorched Roses. I love Lilith's brain. if I was to be with anyone at the end of the world, like if I wanted anyone at my side, it would be Lilith. She would find a way. She would figure it out. I just love her scientific brain, and then also her tenacity and her bravery. Like, I just love all those things, and I would completely marry her. The next question is, if you could be one fantastical creature or magical being, what would you be? Well, I will tell you, I probably identify most with the ogre in No Getting Ogre You. I feel like I'm just this little cave troll ogre that just wants a friend. Very lonely. I feel like I identify most with them. But also, like, I think the magical creature I would have to go with most that I would want to be is the crude unicorn from the Fae's Captive series. I mean, I just want to be this beautiful magical creature with magical powers, but also when you get real close to me, I'm a dirty whore. Oh, I'm a bit of an exhibitionist. That's where I would want to be. I'm not like that in real life. I just would want to be. So the next question is, if you could kill one fantasy romance character, who would you kill off? Look, I'm a pacifist in real life. I don't believe in murdering. I don't think I could ever do that. However, in my fantasy reader life, we'd be killing everybody, okay? We'd be offing people left and right. But however, the person at the top of my list on that would be Lord Byron from What Lies Beyond the Veil. Lord Byron is evil incarnate to me. He groomed Estrella from a very small age, I think she was 7, to be his wife. He did so many disgusting things to that poor girl. And then when she finally found her courage to like stand up to him, he decides to sacrifice her. Like, kill her. How rude. How rude, sir. Sir, you need to be dead. Question number 6 is, what fantasy character would you truly believe would be your in real life best friend? This was hard because I'm like, okay, what like sidekick would be my friend? Or what hero would be my friend? I don't think I would befriend heroes, like, to be honest. They're just like way too brave for me. Like, I need like moral support more than bravery. And with this, I think I'm gonna say Beth from the Fae's Captive series. Again, I'm going back to that series because I just freaking love it. But Beth is just, she's so positive, even though she's like had all these horrible things done to her. And then in the later half of the series, she does get her own book and her own happily ever after. And I just really love her. She's also like comedic support. Like, I just need a good laugh. And I feel like we would just be girlfriends. Like, I think we could tell each other anything and always be there for each other, like just real supportive and kind. And I love people like that. If it was a male friend, I would probably go with Sarkis from Sword Heart. And I would probably wish that he wasn't just a friend. Question number 7 is, what would be your fantasy weapon of choice? Again, I don't think I would be a fighter. Like, I just don't. I'm a runner. Like, I will just run away from trouble everywhere I go. However, if I had to fight, maybe I would want to like be a shifter and like change into some kind of animal that would be big and ferocious and something like that. Or maybe I could like fly and be like an eagle and fly away. If it wasn't like a shifting creature, like some kind of shifting creature, and it was like an actual physical weapon, I don't know. Probably like a bow and arrow. Like, I love a good archery. That way I wouldn't have to get too close. And in my fantasy life, I have perfect vision. So I could just like knock targets off from very far away and not have to even get close. Because who wants to mess with that? That sounds messy. That sounds really, really messy to get that close. And you know what? We just don't want to take that many showers. Question number 8, who is the sexiest fantasy romance character of all time? I think you know who I'm gonna say. Prince Evren. Prince Evren is the guy for me. Something about the shadows, the darkness, and his mouth. That's all I'm gonna say. I just find it very sexy, and we're just gonna go with that. Question number 9, pick one fantasy romance book to burn. I could not, this was the one question, I could not just pick one book, like at all. If you know anything about me, you know that I absolutely loathe A Court of Frost and Poop. To me, it's one of the worst books ever written. I realize so many people actually do love this book, but it wasn't it for me. It just wasn't. I just didn't get it. I didn't like it. I don't care. And I have sold it. I got rid of that book. I have the rest of the trilogy or the quad, you know, the quad books now. But that book doesn't exist to me, and we're just gonna continue with that one. Also, another book that I would like to burn, I think I do have it on my shelf somewhere, but it's a recent dislike, is Queen of Myth and Monsters by Scarlett St. Clair. This was so disappointing in so many ways that I think it would be like on that list of books to burn, because I just think it's completely unnecessary. All they do is fight and have sex, and that's all you need to know about it. That's all they do. And they're very self-aware that that's all that happens, and nothing happens. No, just stay with the first book. The first book was great. Maybe the third one will be better. I hope it'll be better. Just forget the second one even existed. I'm sorry to anybody that likes that book. I just don't. I don't. Question number 10 is choose one fantasy romance book. It's the only book you will read ever again. So one book that I'll have to read over and over again for the rest of my life. This is so hard because I get very like burnt out by series. Is it like I don't even binge series, so like one book, the only book that I could read for the rest of my life, I'd you know what, close contenders I think will be these two books, which is The Bridge Kingdom by Daniel L. Jensen, and also Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I have read these multiple times, and I still want to read them. Like, they're just so good. I guess I like royalty romances. I like political intrigue and epic fantasies. It doesn't have to have magic, but sometimes it's okay if it does. Yeah, I could read any book like this over and over again. I love all of these characters, and I love the situations they get into and how they get out of them, and these are my winners. These are my all-time faves winners. Question number 11, I think, is if you could pick one fantasy romance to recommend to someone that was new to the genre and try it out, what would it be? I just read this book recently called Sword Heart. Sword Heart it's quirky, it's cozy, it's silly and funny, but it's high fantasy as well. You have a woman who is she just inherited some land. However, her family is trying to take it away from her and trying to make her marry her disgusting cousin. And when she goes up to her room, you know, resigned to this fate that she doesn't want to be in, she goes up to unalive herself. She takes the sword off the wall, unsheaths it, and a man pops out of the sword. And he's a magical man trapped in the sword, and now his job, his duty, is to protect her from everything. So he joins her on a quest to find a lawyer to kind of make sure she gets her land and kick out her family forever. And they have just this great adventure. It's like a road trip romance, and Sorkin is very hot, but he's also sweet. And you're like, how does this romance work between a guy trapped in a sword and this like wonderful woman? I don't know, but it works. It's really great. T. Kingfisher is a phenomenal writer. Another book that I would say try out would be the Mead Mishaps series by Kimberly Lemming. Again, I can't just, I have to mention this book in almost every video because they're my favorite. Again, cozy fantasy, but also hilariously funny with a lot of magical creatures and ridiculous situations. Just very great. And I cannot have a fantasy romance video without also mentioning ACOTAR series. I think ACOTAR is like the fantasy romance 101 of the genre. I mean, ACOTAR is just this epic romance, but also this epic adventure as well of a human girl being swept away to Fey lands, and she has to kind of survive in many situations, but also has this budding romance that kind of always has a bunch of twists and turns in it. It is like the quintessential fantasy romance series to read. Sarah J. Maas is a queen. Yeah, I don't think I could also at all do a tag like this without mentioning her at least, even though I try not to, because literally every book is like for fans of Sarah J. Maas, and for good reason. I mean, she's a phenomenal writer and she writes incredibly adventurous, fun, romantic stories. So definitely those are the books that I would recommend to people new to the genre. And question number 12 is tag some friends. I'm having some brain fog right now and I can't think of anybody, but I will make sure to tag some people in the description box of this video so that way they can try this tag out if they want to as well. I hope they do. I hope they do, because I love fantasy romance and I loved watching all of these videos and I want to see what everybody has to say about all these questions. That's it for the tag and that's it for the video. If you have stayed with me this long and you've enjoyed my video, please make sure to like and subscribe this and leave me a comment below letting me know what is your favorite fantasy romance, or maybe what is your favorite book boyfriend as well, since I apparently have way too many. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you next time. Bye.